Hello folks, welcome back to the Edupedia world and I am Abhinay Gupta. So today again we'll continue with the topic, the meeting of the board and its powers. Right? So in the previous lecture we had started the discussion of the topic political contribution of section 182. Right? We had completed the provisions of the section, but we left at the point where we were about to start discussing the questions. Right? So today we'll give a quick revision to the entire provision and we'll get ahead with the questions. And yeah, as I had already promised, we'll also try and cover up one more section in this lecture. Right? So, what have we seen in section 182 about the political contribution? That the government company and the company that has been in existence for less than 3 years are not allowed to make any contribution to the political party. Right? And other companies that are making the contribution can make a contribution only up to the maximum of 7.5% of the average net profit of the 3 preceding financial years. Right? And for that they will always pass a resolution in the board meeting. They cannot pass a resolution by circulation, or they cannot also delegate the power to the MD, committee, manager or any other person as such. Right? Then we had seen that the donation to a person who is carrying on an activity which is likely to affect the public support for the political party will be considered as political contribution. Right? Next we had seen the expenses on advertisement and publication. So if you are making an advertisement in the publication, and if that advertisement is directly or indirectly concerned with the political party, if it is adding on to the value of the political party, if it is benefiting the political party, we would consider that advertisement to be a political contribution. Right? So instead of making payment to the political party, you are paying it directly to the person, to the place where that money would actually be utilized. Right? So that is a political contribution. You're just breaking a chain in between. Right? So next is the disclosure requirement. So we know where and what we had to disclose. We have to disclose in our profit and loss account the name of the political party for whom we have contributed the money, and also the amount that we have contributed. Right? But we have also seen that in case of electoral trust, we are just supposed to write the amount. For what purpose has that been used, to which party has it gone to, will all be written by the electoral trust in their documents. For us, what have we done is we have made the payment to the electoral trust, that is it. Right? And then we had also seen the penalty for the contravention. So if you make a contravention in this section, that means if a government company or less than 3 year in existence company makes a contribution, they would be liable to this penalty, and other companies, if they cross the limit, they would be liable to the penalty. Right? What is the penalty? For companies it is 5 times the amount contributed, and for others, that means the directors and the officers and stuff, the penalty would be the same. It would be 5 times the contribution, but in addition they would also be entitled to imprisonment for the period of 6 months. Right? So that is all about the provisions that we had to discuss, and we have already discussed it. Now we'll move ahead to discuss the questions that have been asked in the past examinations. So since we have a lot number of questions that have been asked already, although none of them have been asked in very recent past other than the year 2012, but still you know that yes, question can be framed on this topic. So we would basically try and discuss the various type of questions that can be framed on this topic instead of going term wise and the attempt wise questions. Right? So in the past you have been asked questions on the applicability of this section. Right? Like you could be given a case, a status of a company, right, the current situation, and asked whether or not the company is allowed to make political contribution. So when you get that kind of a question, whether or not the company is allowed, you will only check whether or not the company is a government company, or if the company has been in existence for more than 3 years. Right? If both the conditions are satisfied, that means they are not a government company and they have been in existence for more than 3 years, right? Then they are allowed to make political contribution to the maximum of 7.5%. Otherwise they cannot. So you'll just have to write down the provision that yeah, these are the 2 things we'll check, and as per the question, this is the situation that is being laid down, and accordingly this is the conclusion. As simple as that. Right? So out of these 7 questions also, at least 4 times you have been asked about the parameters. right, where you have to basically specify the provision first. So when you are specifying the provision of section 182, remember to jot down 5 points. One is that it should not be a government company. 2, it should be in existence for more than 3 years. 3, the maximum contribution could be 7.5% of the average net profit of 3 preceding financial year. 4, that it could be done only by passing a resolution at the board meeting. And the 5th, about the disclosure, that the name of the political party and the amount it needs to be disclosed, right? And then as per the requirement of the question, you would see the parameters and judge, right? If the question may also ask about, question may not give you the limit, they may not give you the average profit, and they say that okay, the directors want to make a contribution of 5 lakh, right? So can they do so? So what you have to write is, okay, they can make the contribution of 5 lakhs provided that they have sufficient profit, right? So you will back calculate it, that if you have 5 lakh to contribute, then as per being 7.5%, the net profit, the average net profit should be 66 lakh rupees. 66 lakh, 66,666, right? Whatever it is. So that is a back calculation you will have to make and specify that if the company has an average net profit beyond this limit, they can make the contribution, else they will not be able to make. Right? So that is how you give the answer. You will just not write, okay, 5 lakh, I don't know, how do I decide? No. Back calculate and give them the provision. Don't give a direct answer. Don't give a conclusion that yes they can or yes they cannot. No, you will not have those kind of a situation over here. Right? You will have to be diplomatic and you will have to write that if they qualify the limit, they can. If they don't, they can't. It's as simple as that. Right? So this is the kind of questions that have been repeated 2 to 3 times already. Right? Where you have to make a back calculation and then decide and say that okay, if your average net profit reaches this amount, well and good. Right? Then you have a different type of question as well, where you are actually talked about the legal requirement and penalties. Now let me give you another insight, another place where the institute could play googly, right? Or where you will actually have to write an answer based on the applicable provision. Now when I talk about applicable provision, that means the provision that was applicable on the company as per the date also. As you know that we have shifted from the Companies Act 1956 to Companies Act 2013. Right? So you need to know till when Companies Act 1956 was applicable, and after that when is Companies Act 2013 applicable. And both the provisions in this case had a little different provision. Right? So for example, if we talk about the financial year, because when we talk about the restriction, then if there is a company that has been in existence for less than 3 financial years, they cannot make the political contribution. So what is financial year? Right? So the financial year as per your 1956 Act, right? Over there the financial year is defined. All the definitions were in section 2 at that point of time also. In the new Act also you have all the definitions in section 2. So section 2 subsection 17 talked about the definition of the financial year in the Companies Act 1956. Right? And it said that any year in which the profit and loss account is being prepared, right, and that could be more or less than 12 months, right, it could extend up to 15 and it could also go beyond 15, that is up to 18 months also, but that would be only with a special permission of the registrar. So in general it would be a period of around 12 months more or less, but for which the P&L account is being prepared, right? And if we compare that definition to the definition given in the Companies Act 2013, then it is a little different. Because in Companies Act 2013, this definition has been simplified further and said under section 2 subsection 41 that a financial year would end on 31st March of any year. Right? So now for example, if we consider a question that has already been asked in your examination in your CA final 2002, right? So if we consider the present situation and you say that the company was incorporated in January 2012, right? And as per the current scenario, you are standing on November 2014. Is the company eligible to make political contribution? So for this, you will have to refer that okay, when we are talking about the incorporation, at that point of time, the Companies Act 1956 was into play. Right, that was applicable. So accordingly, we would consider a financial year with more or less than 12 months, but for which the profit and loss account is being prepared. So in that situation, the financial year first would be from 1st January to 31st December, 1 year, 2012, 2013 the second year, and 2014 December 31st would be the end of the third year. But the contribution is being made in the November 2014. So far 3 years have not lapsed, and hence you would not be allowed to make political contribution. Right? Now again, the second part of the question asks you that whether the situation would be different if the company was incorporated 3 months back, that is 1st October 2011. So in that scenario again, what would be the condition? What would be the situation? So again, you consider 12 months. So 12 months is October to September. You will prepare P&L account for that also, right? Then again next October to next September, and then next October to next September. That means 11 to 12, 12 to 13, 13 to 14 September, and the contribution is being made in November. So till then, the 3 years period have been completed in September 2030, on 30th September 2014, and the contribution is made on 1st November 2014. So you are allowed to make the contribution. That is the second situation, right? And then, contrary to this, you could also be asked a question, say that the company is incorporated on 1st January 2014. Give me the date up to which the company will not be able to make political contributions. So now what do you do? Right? So since you're talking about 2014, right, we would comply with the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Right, and we'll follow the definition of financial year as per section 2 subsection 41, which talks about 31st March. So for that, any financial year would be concluding on 31st March. Right, whenever it starts, the first financial year would conclude in the following 31st March. But if the company is incorporated after 1st January, then it would be concluded on the following 31st March. That means 15 months. Right, that is the definition of financial year. Right. So accordingly, you will say that okay, since this company is incorporated in January 14, right? So first year would end in March 15, then March 16, and then March 17. So after March 17, you would be allowed to make political contribution. Understood? So you would have to pay great deal of attention while you are discussing about the financial year. You will have to give attention to the year and then decide which provision would you apply. Whether you would apply the 12-month concept or whether you would apply the 31st March concept. Right? Because both the provisions are different in both the acts. Otherwise also you could give any one of them, or most preferably you would follow the provision of the Companies Act 2013 and give a note. A note that yes, you have assumed and you have given your answer as per the latest provision. Right? So just make sure that you don't just need to answer it. You will have to specify and you will have to support your answer with supportings. Right? You will have to give assumptions. You will have to give references. If there is a case law, refer to the case law. If there is a section, refer to the section. Right? That would help you construct your answer better, and that would help you fetch marks in the examination because you are direct on the point. Right? So that is all. We have discussed the various kinds of questions that could be put forward from this section. Right? Again, this was not a very big section, but yeah, a little complicated as compared to the previous section. Right? I'm not telling it is a complicated section, but yeah, comparatively comparing it to the previous section, it was a little complicated. Right? Now, as we had decided, we would cover one more section. So we'll move on to the next section, that is section 183, contribution to the National Defence Fund. So as per the provisions, the contribution should be made to the specified funds, the approved funds. So what are the approved funds? One is the National Defence Fund, and the other is any fund which is approved by the central government for the purpose of national defence. Right? Now you have seen already about the political contribution. Now you are seeing about the National Defence Fund. Right? You have also seen about the contribution to the charitable fund. So maybe there is a hodgepodge in your brain and you get confused as to the limits for each kind of contribution. Right? So there is one thing that you can relate it to. For example, if you're talking about the National Defense Fund, just remember that when we are talking about defense, that is the priority for the nation. So even if the government is framing any section, if the Companies Act is talking about the national defense, right, then they would be as lenient as they could. They would invite as much money as they can, because there is no biasness over here. There is no advantage. If you are giving it to the national fund, you are ultimately giving it to the national security. Because political fund, you could be biased. You could plan for some undue advantage from the political party as well. But if you are contributing to the National Defense Fund, you are doing it for the nation as well, on the nation only. Right? So over here they have relaxed all the provisions. There is no limit as such. The 5%, 7.5% that we have seen, we had no limit for the National Defense Fund. Over there we had seen that the approvals are required. The board has to pass a board resolution in the board meeting as itself, and then for some things you go for SR and stuff. Over here you have nothing as such. The board of directors will pass a resolution. They want to pass a resolution board meeting, do it in board meeting. You don't want to call a board meeting, you want to follow the circulation method, go by it. You don't even want to follow the circulation method, you want to keep it simpler and you appoint a manager or an MD for the same, you can do that as well. Right? So there is no restriction. The power can be exercised by anybody. The only purpose is please go ahead and contribute. Right? Then there is no limit prescribed. If you want to give away the entire profit of the company, you do it. It is your decision. Right? Whatever you want. If you think that the national security is of so high importance, we need defense now, and you are dedicated to your country, and you say that okay, my company will solely be for the support of the defense and I'll contribute everything I earn to the defense, that is your decision. The act of the government will have no restriction on the same. Right? And all you have to disclose is the amount that you have donated in the P&L, nothing else. So you would get the tax benefit, you would show it as an expense. Right? That is the benefit given to you. And you don't have a requirement, which defense fund, how much, why, nothing is to be written. Just say, I have donated this amount to the National Defense Fund. That is it. Right? And then this will also have an overriding effect on any other section, any memorandum, any article, anything. So no matter how much money you have contributed in other sections, 180, 80, 182, whatever has been the case, whatever you have contributed, we don't care. You want to contribute more in the National Defense Fund, go ahead. Your article puts on a restriction on 10%, 15%, 20%. You still want to go beyond, go ahead. That means there is no restriction at all. It has an overriding effect over all the section, all the article, all the provisions, everything. Right? You just have to make a nominal disclosure of the amount. There is no limit and no cumbersome process. You want to authorize it, authorize by any means. Just go and donate. That is the only purpose. Right? So now that will help you understand, and if you get question, you know that ultimately your answer should be in favor of the defense. You don't care about the company at all. It's only about the defense. So just frame your answers accordingly. Right? You have not been asked questions in the past, so we will not be able to discuss a lot of questions. And I don't think there can be any difficult question framed on this topic as well. So it is not a very important topic. It was just for your information, just for your knowledge. Right? So that will be all for the day today. In the next class, we are supposed to pick up a very important topic, that is section 185, loans to director. And you have been asked that question around 15-20 times in your examination. So that is one of the most important topic of this lecture, of this chapter. So please stay tuned for that. We will discuss it in detail in the next class. Right? So until then, this is Abhinay Gupta signing off.